Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here again to unpack the stories behind, well, behind the things that shape our world.
That's right.
And today we're getting into something pretty cool, the legendary MXR Flanger pedal.
Ah, yes. A classic.
It really is. And this isn't just about a piece of gear, is it? It's more a story of how one stomp box, it sort of fundamentally changed what guitarists could do.
Absolutely. And our mission today, really, is to unpack the origins of this iconic effect.
Okay.
We want to dive into the clever circuit design, how it actually worked,
Right.
understand that really distinct sound, and we'll ultimately explore its lasting impact. We're using MXR Flanger, an exhaustive history, as our guide here.
Fantastic. And I'm really excited to get into how this complex sound, something that used to need a whole studio setup, how they miniaturized it and put it right there, at a musician's feet. It's that classic innovation story.
It really is, enabling that artistic freedom.
Okay, so let's start unpacking this. Flanging. For someone listening who maybe isn't deep into guitar effects, what is that sound? What's that famous jet plane whoosh?
Well, yeah, before this pedal came along, that whoosh was kind of a studio secret almost.
Right.
Flanging was done using, believe it or not, two reel-to-reel tape recorders playing the same audio.
Wow, okay.
And the engineers would literally press down on the flange the rim of one of the tape reels.
Just push it.
Yeah, just physically slow it down, just a tiny bit. And this created a really subtle moving delay between the two identical signals. And when you combine those signals, one slightly delayed and moving, you got this effect called comb filtering and phase cancellation.
Okay, let me just jump in there. So phase cancellation, that's when the sound waves are slightly out of sync. They cancel each other out a bit, creating those kind of dips in the sound.
Exactly. Creates notches in the frequency spectrum.
And comb filtering then is like, it makes a series of peaks and troughs, almost like the teeth of a comb, giving it that hollow swirling sound.
You've got it. That's the essence of that classic flanger sound.
Okay.
And then along comes MXR Innovations. This was 1976, founded by Keith Barr and Terry Sherwood up in Rochester, New York.
Right, MXR. Big name.
Huge name. And when they introduced this flanger pedal, it just instantly cemented their reputation. They already had things like the Phase 90, the Dynacon.
The Distortion Plus.
Exactly. Great, simple, rugged, fantastic sounding pedals. The flanger just fit right in, but it was also something new.
So it wasn't just like another drive pedal or another phaser. This sounds like it was genuinely a game changer for players.
Oh, it really was a revolution because it democratized this complex studio effect.
It made it accessible.
Totally. Imagine, what used to take multiple expensive tape machines, skilled engineers. Now it's in a little box you stomp on.
Yeah.
It took that studio trick and made it a live effect. Guitarists could suddenly make sounds on stage that were just impossible before. It wasn't just shrinking it down. It was like artistic liberation.
That's actually incredible when you think about it like that.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder, how did they do it? How did they shrink that whole tape machine process into a little stomp box?
Yeah.
What was the secret sauce there?
Well, the magic, or a lot of it anyway, lies in the technical foundation. Specifically, the Bucket Brigade delay chip, the BBD.
Ah, the BBD.
Yes. And in the early units, they used a specific one, the Redicon SAD 9024.
SAD 9024.
Got it. And this chip was just crucial. It basically simulated that complex comb filtering, the phase cancellation, all the stuff the tape machines did. But inside this tiny analog circuit, no tape needed.
So it's basically an analog modulation thing then. You've got an LFO, a low-frequency oscillator, sweeping a really short delay time, and that sweep is what gives it the movement, that characteristic sound.
That's exactly it. And it's important, I think, to distinguish it from something like a chorus pedal.
Right, because they both modulate delay, don't they?
They do, they're related. But the MXR Flanger uses really short delay times. We're talking like 0.1 milliseconds up to maybe 13 milliseconds. Tiny delays.
Super short. And that's absolutely crucial for getting authentic flanging. Chorus pedals use longer delay times, which gives you that thicker, doubling kind of sound. Different vibe altogether.
Gotcha. And the controls. They look simple, but they seem really powerful. There were 4 main knobs, right?
Yep, the classic 4.
Manual, that sets the sort of center point of the delay.
Exactly. The position of the filters sweep manually.
Then width, that's how far it sweeps.
Correct. The range of the modulation.
Speed is obviously the rate, how fast it sweeps.
LFO speed.
And region, that's the feedback one, right? Takes you from just a little shimmer
all the way up to that full-on intense jet engine whoosh. That's the knob that gets you the extreme sounds.
Right.
And those 4 simple controls, that's really key to why it's lasted. The pedal just has this rich, organic, warm analog sound.
Yeah.
It can do subtle movement, or it can do those crazy jet plane sweeps. And it sounds particularly good, I think, when you push it with some distortion or overdrive.
Oh, yeah, that's where it really screams. That's where it absolutely roars, yeah.
So looking at its history, the original MXR Flanger, that was made from 76 to 84, roughly.
That's the period, yeah.
And you saw them first in those bigger enclosures with the script logo.
The script logo ones, yeah. Very cool looking.
And then later the block logo versions. But the key thing is, those originals had that Redicon SAD 2 and 24 BBD chip.
Correct. Which is why they're so sought after, so collectible today.
It makes you wonder, though, going from actual tape flanging to that BBD chip.
Yeah.
Were there any, like, sonic compromises, or did it nail the sound perfectly?
That is a great question. Look, while the BBD was totally revolutionary for getting it into a pedal,
Yeah.
it's probably never a perfect one-to-one copy of tape. Some people, audiophiles might argue that real tape flanging had this certain, I don't know, looseness, or an organic quality that's hard to perfectly replicate.
Interesting.
But the thing is, the MXR Flanger sound, the sound from that BBD chip, it became its own iconic sound, defined by what that chip could do.
Right, it created its own legend.
Exactly. And interestingly, after MXR itself folded, Jim Dunlop bought the name in '87.
Ah, okay. Dunlop MXR.
Right. And they started reissuing the Flanger in the '90s. That's the M117R version you still see today.
And those reissues, they kept the same 4-knob layout, right? Still looks the same, pretty much.
Visually, yes. Familiar layout. But because those original SAD 1024 chips were becoming super rare, almost unobtainium.
Yeah, that happens with vintage parts.
They had to use different BBD chips in the reissues. It's a common issue with bringing back old analog circuits.
But using different chips,
Yeah.
wouldn't that change the sound? I mean, more than just subtle differences. Could some players hear that as maybe a downgrade?
It's a really fair point, and it gets to the heart of analog circuits, The M117R reissued sounds remarkably close. It really does.
Okay.
But yeah, the purists, the people who really know those originals, they often hear subtle differences, maybe in the depth of the sweep or the overall warmth.
Right.
It's not necessarily a downgrade, I wouldn't say that, but maybe a slight shift in its sonic fingerprint. And that really highlights why those original script logo ones with the Redicon chip are so valuable. It's not just rarity, it's that specific sound, maybe even including those little analog imperfections.
Almost like the happy accidents contributing to the magic.
Precisely. And then, fast forward to more recent times, the 2020s, we're seeing mini versions pop up.
Oh, yeah, the MXR Micro Flanger.
Right, based on that M117 circuit, but even smaller, simplified controls. Fits on any pedal board.
Cool. Okay, let's talk legends. Let's talk about the players who really put this pedal on the map. This is where it gets really fun.
Oh, absolutely. And you just cannot talk about the MXR Flanger without starting with Eddie Van Halen.
No way. Unchained.
Unchained, exactly. And the Cradle Will Rock, his use of it was just incredible. That aggressive sound, almost percussive, cranking that region knob.
Yeah.
He made the flanger more than just texture. It was part of his lead voice, like another instrument almost.
Totally integral. And his signature EVH flanger pedal, that's based on the M117, right?
It is, yeah. And it even has that EVH button, the preset switch for instant Van Halen tone. Genius marketing, really.
I remember hearing Unchained for the first time. Just mind-blowing. Didn't even know what that sound was. And then you've got David Gilmour.
Pink Floyd, yes.
He wove the MXR Flanger into his sound, didn't he? Especially late 70s, 80s, adding it to his already huge palette of modulation.
Absolutely. Master of atmosphere, using it for those big, sweeping textures.
Epic soundscapes.
But what's really cool is the pedal's versatility. Think about Andy Summers from The Police.
Oh, right. Different vibe entirely.
Totally different. He blended flanger textures really subtly into his clean tones, which were already heavy on chorus.
Yeah.
It shows it wasn't just for rock gods. It could be intricate, subtle.
And then swinging the other way, maybe heavier, Jay Massey's. Dinosaur Jr.
Yes. Using it for those big, swirling, shoegaze, alt-rock sounds, really pushing the extremes again, but in a different context.
It just proves how adaptable it was, across so many genres and styles.
He really does.
And people still want them badly today, right? Especially the old ones.
Oh, yeah. Those original script logo flangers, they're super collectible. Because of those Redicon chips mainly, you can see them go for thousands of dollars sometimes.
Wow.
The block logo originals are a bit less rare, maybe slightly more affordable, but still really desirable for collectors and players who want that specific vintage sound.
But it's worth saying, the reissue, the M117R, that's still hugely popular, isn't it?
Massively popular, it remains one of the best-selling analog flangers out there. It's a testament to how good that core design and sound really is. People still want that sound.
And the EVH signature model, that's done a great job keeping the effect relevant for modern players, too.
Definitely. Gives them easy access to those iconic tones, like you said, a piece of rock history in a box.
Yeah.
So when you look at the big picture, the MXR Flanger, with its lush analog sweep, those simple, intuitive controls, it's just remained a total staple of modulation for, what, almost 50 years now?
Nearly half a century.
Incredible. It really continues to define that unmistakable jet plane whoosh sound in rock guitar. Just fundamentally shaped creativity.
This has been a really fantastic deep dive, just exploring how this one relatively simple pedal took a really complex studio process and just turned it into this accessible, iconic tool for musicians everywhere. It's a remarkable story, innovation meeting that artistic need.
And it raises, I think, a really interesting question for us to think about. How does a specific piece of tech like this, transcend its nuts and bolts, its technical origins, to become such a fundamental part of musical expression for generations? It's clearly more than just the electronics, isn't it?
Absolutely. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Maybe the enduring appeal of the MXR Flanger, nearly 5 decades later. Maybe it just speaks to the power of really well-designed, intuitive analog gear, especially now in our super digital world. It's maybe a reminder that sometimes the simplest tools, the ones you can just reach out and tweak, can lead to the most profound creative results. Anyway, something to think about. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive.